We're learning 4 people have died at a home in Thornton in what's being investigated as a homicide. Police say they were called to the home on Harrison Street near Colorado and 140th just after 8 o'clock last night after a family member found multiple people unresponsive inside. Officers found 4 people dead inside that home. It's unclear if anyone is in custody, but police say there is no known threat to the community.
And time now for a check of your weather impact forecast. Good morning to you, Colorado. Happy Saturday. It's a beautiful start. A lot of sunshine, 45 degrees. Winds are calm, crystal clear up over northern Colorado, Fort Collins, with a lot of rain and snow over the course of this last week in the high country. It is a warmer and drier weekend ahead. So any travel you need to do for today, we are staying nice and dry. We are still picking up a few brief showers just to the north of Lamar, but really won't cause any impacts across the far southeastern plains. Temperatures this morning, we're starting off cool, 40s here for the Front Range and east, some 20s and 30s in the mountains, so you definitely want the layers. But a lot of sunshine for today, pleasant conditions, seasonal, low to mid 70s expected here in Denver this afternoon and across the eastern plains. The mountains today, building cloud coverage, very few storm chances, but we are looking ahead to warmer days for both Sunday and Memorial Day on Monday. Isolated storm chances return for the holiday, but they will increase into next week. Details in your extended forecast still to come.
A woman is facing murder and assault charges for the death of a man in Lone Tree. Lone Tree police arrested 20-year-old Lovely Rucker yesterday morning after responding to a domestic disturbance call. Police say they found 22-year-old Dadrian Carpenter hurt and bleeding in an apartment. He was taken to the hospital and later died from his injuries. Rucker is in the Douglas County Jail on charges of first-degree murder, second-degree assault, and tampering with evidence. The Adams County Sheriff's Office is investigating an ATV crash that killed a child. We don't know how old, just that the victim is a minor. Investigators tell us it happened Friday night on Harvest Road, south of East 136th Avenue. That's in unincorporated Adams County, just west of Bar Lake State Park. The Sheriff's Office says the minor was pronounced dead on the scene. An investigation is underway to figure out what happened. The mother of a 4-year-old boy who was killed is now in jail. Aurora police arrested 23-year-old Destiny Rose Lipsky in Colorado Springs. She's now booked into the El Paso County Jail on charges of child abuse resulting in death. APD says officers responded to a call Saturday night at an apartment on Tennessee Avenue and found the boy unconscious and not breathing. He later died. They arrested 24-year-old Alexander Martinez Armstrong, who admitted to hitting the boy. Court documents show Armstrong was a close friend of the family and that Lipsky had sent her son to his house for, quote, punishment. The boy had been there for 4 days before he died. Armstrong faces first-degree murder charges. Meanwhile, Lipsky is being held at the El Paso County Jail on a $500,000 bond, but will be transferred to Arapahoe County. That investigation is ongoing. We now know the identities of 2 of the people involved in a deadly wrong-way crash on I-25 last weekend. Denver Fire posted these pictures you're looking at of that crash. It happened on I-25 near 20th Street last Sunday. In the post, they said that Berthoud Fire Lieutenant Ken Bradley was critically injured in this crash while driving to work. Denver Fire says one of their firefighters who was off duty was the first to respond and call it in. Today, the Denver Medical Examiner identified the driver who died as 21-year-old Kevin Barbosa Roque dos Santos. One young person is under arrest for a shooting that claimed the life of another. That shooting happened inside the Montbello Recreation Center on Thursday night. Now, city leaders and anti-violence advocates are relaying grief for the killing that's rattled that community. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez reports.
They're frustrated in that moment.
It's a moment investigators say ended a young life inside a Montbello rec center.
And I'm sure they do come to a moment where they're like, man, I just really did that, and it's too late to take it back.
Denver police say a juvenile suspect is in custody, facing charges in the shooting death of another young person. It's a loss that Lifeline Colorado wants to stop from happening.
Anything that these kids need to be successful.
Adrian Williams is the nonprofit's director of violence interruption and says this type of tragedy changes more lives than one.
It's not only the shooter, the family, the victim, the community. So many people are getting impacted off such a quick reaction.
A reaction that Denver police are still investigating as we wait to learn more about what led up to the shooting. Williams says Lifeline Colorado offers programs that are rooted in helping kids avoid situations like this.
You can have the smallest conversation where it's, hey, let's check out this boxing gym, or let's go play baseball, let's go play basketball.
Williams says he wants families to know there are simple steps to stopping major moments like this from happening.
It's just a little conversation. It doesn't even have to be, hey, my kid's doing bad, or hey, you really need to talk to this guy. It could be a little as just a shoulder bump.
The Montbello Recreation Center is closed until further notice. All programs there are temporarily suspended. Well, untested evidence is piling up at the Denver Police Crime Lab as staffing shortages there get worse. The lab examines things like fingerprints, DNA, drugs, and guns, which helps both investigators solve cases and prosecutors build them. Police records show its overall case turnaround time has nearly tripled since 2021, from about 16 days to 46 days in 2026. And across the entire lab, 17 of 86 budgeted positions are now open. City Councilwoman Flor Alvidrez says the lab has faced chronic under-budgeting and understaffing, but the city's recent budget issues have made things even worse. She says she knows the backlog has real consequences for victims.
Victims are not getting justice, cases are not getting heard, and there are more victims because we're not getting the people committing crimes off the streets.
We reached out to Denver police to get their take on this. In a statement, they wrote, quote, "There are identified staffing challenges in many of our teams across the agency, which we are looking to address as we are able." As Denver Rescue Mission prepares to open a new homeless shelter in northern Colorado, it will end a decades-old rehabilitation program. Harvest Farm in Wellington is designed to support men coming out of homelessness and dealing with addiction. It will become an emergency shelter at the end of next month. Denver Rescue Mission says they're connecting the men there with case managers to help with next steps. Harvest Farm will close altogether when the Homeless Resolution Center in Fort Collins opens. That's expected to happen early next year. Denver Rescue Mission says the $27 million center will have 250 beds, addiction recovery support, and job training, among other things. They say it will allow them to serve more people more effectively. Drivers say a massive pothole on westbound I-70 near Kipling damaged several cars this week. CDOT eventually fixed it, but some drivers whose cars were damaged argue it wasn't soon enough. Drivers say the pothole started causing problems on Monday morning. According to CDOT, crews made several attempts to patch it that day before completing a permanent repair Tuesday evening. The agency says all that rain we got on Monday impacted their work. Drivers are frustrated by the timeline of the repair and believe CDOT should have closed the lane or done a permanent fix sooner.
It was huge. It was about this long and it was about this deep. I was trying to avoid it and I couldn't have avoided it if I wanted to because it was so large.
Some impacted drivers say they plan to file damage claims with the state. Records show those claims, however, are rarely awarded because drivers have to prove the state knew about the problem and failed to fix it in a reasonable amount of time.